What's going on, guys? MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. I read the comments you guys had on the last video I did about the mistakes most commonly made on the clan boss. Now I wanted to go over pretty much the first in-depth speed guide for the Demon Lord clan boss. Here I'm going to give you every combination to every speed team that I'm personally aware of. If there are more, feel free to leave a comment letting me know what else you found that's worked for you consistently. Make sure if you do make any type of comment, try it at least 20 to 25 times. Not only you, but have other people try it too to see if we get the similar results. Just so you're confident about the information before I take a look at it, start testing it, and give it to other people to test. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. A very common question people ask is, I don't know what speed to run. Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Which champion goes in which order? So I pretty much laid everything out here. Not everything is going to be on the screen, but I'm going to explain it as we get there. All of the information here is for Ultra Nightmare, and I'm going to scroll down a bit and give you a conversion to Nightmare Brutal after that. I'm not sure about the specifics for hard and below, which is why I did not include those difficulties in this video. If you do know if it keeps dropping down in the same pattern, also leave a comment. Feel free to let me know below. So getting right into it, we have the first variation of a typical counterattack team for Ultra Nightmare. We have the counterattack champion at 191 speed. We have either a debuff cleanser or a debuffer at 201 speed, and everyone else solidly placed in between that. This means that all 5 of your players will go before the Demon Lord goes, and it will start the counterattack process, and so you will continue on this pace of an even 1-for-1 turn with the clan boss. The next variation we have is 191 to 189 speed. This particular variation has the counterattack champion the fastest on your team, and I'll explain that momentarily. So 191 speed is going to be your counterattack champion, and after that 189 is going to be your second fastest champion. That is either going to be, like in the first variation, your debuff cleanser, which means like a Bad El or a Doom Priest, or it's going to be a debuffer like a Dracomorph. And the rest of your team is going to be spread out between 189 to 181 speed. So how this variation works is the first champion to go in this setup will be your counterattack champion, then the Demon Lord will get a turn, everyone will counterattack, and it will start with the champion that has 189 speed. From there, the counterattack champion that was put at 191 speed will now be moved to the end of your rotation. So it will continue to stay on the path of a 1-for-1 turn rotation until after the stun. Once the first stun of the match goes out, then everything is reset in order to something similar to the first variation, where your 189 speed champion will go first and the 191 champion will actually be bumped to the bottom of the rotation. They will still apply counterattack last. I know it may be a little bit confusing when I talk about it, but if you try it out, you'll definitely understand. Moving on to variation 3, we have 189 to 181 speed. The point of this variation is to allow you to continue on this 1-for-1 turn with the clan boss. You do sacrifice one initial turn at the start of your key. However, this limits the speed requirement you have, and you can focus more on stats like HP, defense, attack, crit rate, accuracy, so on and so forth. So for the 189 to 181 speed, this is going to be similar to variation 1. You have your debuffer or your cleanser first, and your counterattack champion is last. How this variation is going to play out live: the Demon Lord is going to go first in the battle, which is why I said you will miss out on one turn initially for the entire key. Then you can start your rotation. If you are using a debuffer, do not use any debuff like a Razin or a Dracomorph. Do not use their defense down or weaken until after the slam round. That will ensure that you have the best success with your key. So getting into that point really quickly, since the clan boss is going first, you definitely don't want to use your counterattack until you reach that round 1 again. So you are sacrificing not only the first round of 0 attacks in your key, but you are also sacrificing 2 rounds of a counterattack. So the most common situation for this would be you enter your key, the Demon Lord goes first, use any poisons, attack downs you have, use the defense down if it's on an A1 ability, and then you just use A1s across the board. Then you wait for the second AoE to go off as well as the stun round. After you get stunned, that's when you start your normal clan boss rotation, where you debuff the boss and have your counterattack champion that is going last in this round apply the counterattack. And with these speeds, if you set everything up properly and you know the AI of the champions you have well, you can hit auto if you are comfortable to do that. Variation 4 is the exact same as Variation 3. This just lets you to run lower speed and further increasing the opportunities you have to improve on your health, defense, and so on. The most common comps to run with Variation 3 and 4 are double counterattack comps. You don't need 2 counterattacks for this. It's just the most common thing to see. I build single counterattack compositions all the time using Variation 3 and 4. I personally like it better. It gives me more freedom to work with any gear I do have when I'm doing account takeovers, and I think it's really good progression-wise for someone who's just getting into Ultra Nightmare, since there's definitely a huge gear requirement for it, and not having to push up to the 201, 191, or 191 to 181 speed just to get your Ultra Nightmare team running. Now, one giant benefit to Variation 4 over Variation 3 is that Variation 4 also applies to whatever difficulty is below. So 179 to 171 speed is the equivalent of a Variation 1 comp in Nightmare. So you can run 171 to 179, take that same exact team, run it in Nightmare, and you will get fantastic results. I think this is very important because, as I said before, I'm going to show you the number you can subtract to apply this to each difficulty. And if you do pick Variation 4 to tune your team, you'll be able to use the same team successfully for 2 difficulties. Now we have Variation 1A. Variation 1A is a very common talking point where, what if you have a 4-turn cooldown and you would prefer to have it on a 3-turn cycle with the clan boss? What you're going to do is you are going to run either Variation 1 or Variation 2. You are going to have whichever champion you want on a 4-turn cycle be at 254 speed. Now this will conflict with any counterattack you do have. That variation is pretty straightforward. Lots of people know about it already. You will have to do some minor tweaking to how your specific champions are ordered to make this work properly. I've never personally used this, so this variation in particular I know the least about. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. I would say every other variation I have on this guide in front of you, I have 100% tested minus Variation 1A. Keep that in mind when reading this list. Now to the moment I know a ton of people are waiting for. It's not very common knowledge. Variation 2A. What if you have 2 champions who are very, very powerful, but they both have 4-turn cooldowns? How do you maximize the value of those champions? So I found out the speeds for you so you don't have to kill yourself doing all types of testing. So Variation 2A is 267 to 191 speed. We're going to have 1 champion with a 4-turn cooldown at 267 speed. This first champion is going to have their cooldown active for the first 2 AoEs every single round. This champion is going to go 2 times in the first round of every 3-turn cycle by the clan boss starting in round 4. So round 4 means you start the match, you start setting up your team, clan boss does its first AoE, second AoE then stuns. On round 4, your 267 speed champion is going to start taking 2 turns every single first round of the 3-turn cycle the clan boss has. The second champion for a 4-turn cooldown is going to be 265 speed. This champion's cooldown is going to cover the second AoE and the slam. Now, unlike the first champion, this champion is also going to take 2 turns. However, these 2 turns are going to occur on the 5th turn of your key. So to go over that really quick without confusion, AoE 1, AoE 2, slam. Then the next cycle is going to go around for the clan boss, AoE 1. On the second AoE, the 265 speed champion is going to go twice, starting then applying his debuff on the second turn that he goes, and it will apply for AoE 2 as well as the slam. Third champion you want to have in this roster is 205 to 206 speed. This is kind of the speed to keep everything even with each other. As you can see, I wrote Cleanser here. The best champion for this spot is a Doom Priest, if you can fit one into your roster, since this champion will always go first in every single round. So that means this champion will be cleansing any decreased speed, decreased accuracy, or decreased attack, as well as the poisons from Void at the start of each round, even the stun. So obviously the Doom Priest passive clears all stacks when she gets a turn, so 205 to 206 speed. This champion will go first every single round, also starting after the 3-turn cycle of the clan boss. Now champions 4 and 5 are usually a counterattack champion or a debuffer. you want their speeds to be between 191 and 195 speed here. One very important note, if you are going to use a counterattack champion, your 267 and 265 speed champion, they will both lose out on one counterattack per 3-turn cycle. So if you are going to use this strategy, keep that in mind when trying to incorporate a counterattack. Know that you are gaining 2 4-turn cooldowns that can be very strong on a 3-turn cycle, but you're going to lose 2 A1s from them each 3-turn cycle of the clan boss. Now, as far as the last variation that I have for you today, we have 200 in parentheses to 171 being variation 4A. This is a counterattack team with a turn meter booster. Now, I've tested this comp. I've used it in videos. You can actually see it in one of my videos. This is a really cool comp. I think there's a lot of potential with this specific composition. I don't feel comfortable in saying any turn meter booster can do this outside of Lonicus. You have to look at the exact turn meter percent that Lonicus boosts and then use that as your guideline when trying this out. For me personally, I found 200 to be the safe speed for any turn meter boost. I ran my Lonicus all the way up to 205 and saw no change, as well as consistent counterattacks from all 5 champions, and most importantly, every champion in variation 4A has 1-for-1 turn with the clan boss. You can kind of see the math and where it's going here. You have 1 turn meter booster and the rest of your team is between 179 and 171 speed. Like variation 4 for Ultra Nightmare, we're going to have a debuffer around 179 and then a counterattack champion at 171. The reason why this works is because you have from 171 all the way to 201 to work with to stay in an even speed with the boss. In a 3-turn cycle, no turn meter booster, if they are kept to a tame 200 to 205 speed, will not lap the boss and desync your current composition. The final point I want to talk about, as you can see in the bottom of the screen here, is your conversion to other difficult. So if you are not doing Ultra Nightmare, don't worry, this information is still relevant for you. All you have to do is subtract 20 from every single speed number on your screen, and this will apply to Nightmare. If you subtract 30 from every speed number on the screen, this will apply for brutal difficulty. I'm not sure, like I mentioned before, if -10 is also the equivalent for hard and -10 again is the equivalent for normal. That's something I would need you guys to tell me. It's been a very long time since I've been there. Alright guys, so I have given you all of the information that I have. I'm really excited to hear about what this can do for you. Please do me a favor and share this video around. I really think it's important for people to know about this, since I did spend the time to do this. It didn't take a lot of time to compile this because for me personally this is rather common knowledge, but I feel like a lot of people don't have access to or don't know this. So I think it's really important they have access to all of these numbers. If you enjoyed this video today, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up, comment and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I know a bunch of people have been asking me and I've been kind of procrastinating. Plarium Play is down at the moment, so I did want to release a video for you guys. I am going to be doing a Hegemon video when I can get access to Plarium Play again and start recording. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the support. Till next time, peace out.